is the reason why I am very pleased to be here and to contribute to this debate and discussion on how we can make a success from accession of Ukraine, of course, Republic of Moldova, Balkan countries, but now discussing about agriculture and discussing about what is realistic, we should agree the fact that the elephant in the room talking about Ukraine is agriculture. But I would say, first of all, Ukraine's accession to European Union, in my opinion, is an unavoidable political decision for European Union and for Ukraine, taking into account the current geopolitical situation in this area and what's happened in the world. For European Union, it's almost impossible to avoid to propose something very concrete and realistic to Ukraine in relation with European Union, so to propose a partnership. And I was very happy also to see that Ukrainian farmers understand also this political reality, because let's be honest, if we will look only to the interests of Ukrainian farmers and European farmers, maybe it is not in the interest of Ukrainians to integrate European Union in the short term, because they have still a lot of opportunities on international market. Ukraine it's a big producer, it's in top 3, top 5 in the world for several products, so they have a lot of opportunity to gain international market for food and not to complicate themselves with European standards who can affect their competitiveness. But they understood, as we should understand also, that the challenge now goes beyond only interest for agriculture. On the meantime, in order to do this accession of Ukraine to European Union feasible, we should find solutions for agriculture. We cannot abandon our farmers, as from your side in Ukraine, you cannot sacrifice your farmers and your agriculture. And this is why I think from the beginning, if we accept the idea that in the next, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, we should put on the table a realistic solution of accession of Ukraine to European Union. Before that, we should find realistic solutions for agriculture. And in my opinion, as former Minister of Agriculture in Romania, when Romania negotiated accession to European Union, as former Commissioner for Agriculture, but also with political responsibilities beyond agriculture, if we are realistic today, we should recognize that we cannot integrate Ukraine in European Union business as usual. And we cannot leave this only to the negotiations, the basic negotiations of accession at the level of civil servant. We should assume political decision, and in this way I fully agree with the colleagues from Copa Cogeca saying that we should think out of the box, in the sense that we should imagine tailored solution taking into account the specific situation of Ukraine and of European agriculture. And first of all, we should recognize from the beginning, anyway, this is my personal opinion and I assume it, in the current situation, on the short term and maybe even in the medium term, European internal market is not able to absorb all Ukrainian agriculture production or agri-food production. Physically, it's not able to do that without the risk to make explode European agricultural production. On the meantime, Several of you mentioned the fact that Ukraine is a big contributor to food security in other parts of the world. And I think it's the interest also of European Union to keep Ukraine an important supplier for Africa, for Middle East, for Asia. And we should think also not to affect the short-term competitiveness of Ukrainian agriculture on these markets, because we have seen what's happened with the war, when Russia grabbed some of the markets who were of Ukrainian markets before the war. So I think it's not in our interest to push Ukraine on the short term to flow European markets and to renounce to international markets with the risk to grab these markets to be grabbed by Russia. Because if, very realistically, and again I talk from Romanian experience, if we will impose to Ukraine on the short term all European standards and norms, this will increase the production cost in Ukraine, and this will affect their competitiveness on the market that they have today. And on the meantime, asking them to respect all the standards of European Union is kind of invitation to come on European market, because of course it's better paid, the prices are better in European Union than in other parts of the world. So again, there are several things who should be discussed in a realistic way and to find solution for the short term, for the medium term, and for the long term. So in that sense, I think we should think out of the box and find tailored solution, and not to leave only civil servants to do business as usual negotiations. Because I know how this happened, and again, I think one of the biggest error of European Union when they negotiated the accession of Eastern European countries, it was that the process was too much bureaucratic and administrative, with the transfer of acquis communautaire, the legislation, alignment, institutional alignment, and so on, and not enough political decision and assuming also political decision. And it was very difficult to explain to the farmers in Romania and Poland a lot of things that we were obliged to integrate without real negotiation. So I think with Ukraine it's unavoidable to have this serious discussion and to take into account the reality in European Union and in Ukraine. And I assume to say that, and in this moment, we are not able to understand really what is the situation on the spot in Ukraine in terms of structure of production capacity, the impact of the war in production capacity in Ukraine, to understand the structure of production, the category of farms they have, the typology of farms. Because we have in mind this very big agri-food complex, but there are also family farms. There are farms producing for their internal market, producing different types and category of products. And I think when we negotiate, we should have a better understanding about these details, which are very important when we will give access to European market for or subsidies or support for investment, to see for which category of farm what kind of specific support we need, and to adapt this, and not to go only with a transfer of something that we have in European Union and to transfer in Ukraine just because they will become a member in the future. We need also to see what will happen with European Union Common Agricultural Policy, and I